You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips Podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today's tip comes from Anthony Natoli. Anthony is a former SDR turned account executive who shares daily content on real life in the trenches and practical tips for SDRs and AEs. He is also on a mission to bring awareness to the importance of mental health and mindset based on his own personal experiences and journey. Here he is.
Most account executives want more pipeline, yet they don't like prospecting, which is ironic. So as a former SDR turned AE, I'm laser focused on prospecting, and the top sales professionals and account executives that I know are also focused on prospecting, because having a large amount of quality opportunities that you're working makes life so much easier, right? You're not worried that if you lose an op to a competitor that your whole quarter or year is ruined, right? You become less attached to the outcome of those opportunities. And it's just a better way to live and think when you have opportunities that you know are quality and that you are actively working. So obviously it's a great feeling, but most AEs don't have a process in place to build pipeline effectively. So again, as a former SDR and now turned to AE that's super focused on prospecting, I want to share my no nonsense, easy to follow prospecting foundation and strategy that you can implement tomorrow. So number one, you want to focus on 2 accounts per week and block an hour on your calendar each day to prospect and execute tasks within those 2 accounts. Number 2, you want to know the business that you're going after and the prospects within that business and organization inside and out. So a few different ways to do this is understand previous engagement with old opportunities, current news about the business, listen to earnings calls, especially the questions that analysts will ask the CEO, CFO, CRO at the end of those calls, because there is gold there. Understand some of competitors of theirs that are customers of yours. Also understand customers of yours that are also their customers. So sharing mutual customers, understand mutual investors, things like that, right? The net of point number 2 is relevancy, right? Why are you reaching out to them, etc. Number 3, at those 2 accounts, you want to put 5 people into a sequence at each of those accounts, so 10 people total. Number 4, you want to use research from number 2, where we gain the relevancy, to develop your personalization strategy. So personalization is not enough. Knowing where someone went to college is not enough. You need to have relevancy. So understand the compelling why behind your outreach is going to be super crucial for your outreach strategy. Number 5, follow these prospects and these companies on LinkedIn and Twitter, because there's absolute gold on these channels that you could be using in your messaging. The last thing is, how many times have you wrote an awesome first touch personalized email to have it just go unread and unnoticed? And you feel like you got to start from scratch. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't. So take that first touch email that you spent a good amount of time on doing your research and just recycle it. So after your sequence is finished, restart another outreach sequence or whatever tool that you're using with that personalized note, because if they haven't read it, you should use it again, because there's awesome information in there that might get them to respond. So again, to wrap it up, focus on 2 accounts per week, do research to understand relevance of why you're reaching out. Number 3, focus on 5 people at a minimum at those 2 accounts for 10 people total. And number 4, use the research from number 2 to guide your messaging within your email touches and your phone calls. Number 5, make sure you're following those prospects and those companies on LinkedIn and Twitter. And number 6, don't let that first awesome touch point go to waste. Recycle it if they don't read or open it. So again, this may vary on the size of your target account list, or if you're an SDR, you may be focused on more accounts per week. But again, this is a super easy, no nonsense foundation for prospecting that I've seen time and time again allow me to build large quality opportunities that I'm actively working. So hopefully this was helpful, and follow me on LinkedIn for some more tips for SDRs and AEs. Take care.
For those links to follow Anthony on LinkedIn and Twitter, just click over to dailysales.tips/1109, and we'll have those there, as well as a handy transcript of this tip as well. Once you've done that, be sure to come back tomorrow for another great sales tip. Thanks for listening.